Doesn't he have to be elected?
He is elected. He's up for re-election in 2006.
Did you oppose him back in 2000?
No, generally Indiana is highly Republican, and especially Hendricks County here, just overwhelmingly Republican. Frankly, the judges here generally go unopposed, and there probably hasn't been a Democratic judge in this county in the last century, but they generally run unopposed.
You gonna let him run opposed in 06?
Am I?
Going to let him run opposed? You're gonna find someone to run against him?
Well, he should be removed from office long before then, yes.
But he's been on the bench how many years?
At least 25 to 30 years.
In most states, they appoint him on when someone retires a year early, and then they appoint him on, and then he runs an appointed incumbent.
That could be. I'm just not aware. I do know that back in his early days, which would have been the 70s or so, he got kind of famous from, there was a notorious criminal murder case out in this area, a Stephen Judy, who I believe the story went, he murdered like his girlfriend or wife and a couple of the girls, the daughters or something like that. And so because it was such an atrocious crime and everybody knew that it was a done deal, and then when he had him ordered executed and so forth, it was a very popular decision, and so
he got very popular quickly.
In the beginning, and he's used that popularity. And there's a famous case, though, from the Supreme Court documenting his abuse and how he almost got removed from office back in 1990. It's 555 Northeast, which is an N, and then an E, and then a second. And it's 1284 is the other part of the case site. In other words, 555 Northeast, second, 1284. And that was a matter of Boles. That was a disciplinary case from the Supreme Court of Indiana upon this judge, where they documented all kinds of notorious things that he's been doing even by then.
And then what did they do after they documented it?
And then, it's incredible, they let him a little bit of give and take and tit and tat, and they ended up letting him stay on the bench after a 60-day suspension without pay, although two dissenting judges, they were vehement about how it's apparent, obvious that he refuses to conform his behavior to judicial office standards, and he should be removed immediately from office.
And this was in 1990?
This was in 1990, yeah. I've got a copy of it. Mom's got a copy of it too.
So you're going to apply for your writ of mandamus for release federally or in state?
No, this is state. This is with the Indiana Supreme Court. Basically, the premise is when the motion for change of judge was filed under state law, he was divested of all jurisdiction. He was required to order and grant the change of judge. That's a grant by right.
Right.
Also, the federal case removed his jurisdiction completely. The state thing for change of judge by right, because I'd filed for a major change of custody, which is a major petition triggering the automatic right. I filed that immediately.
Where'd you file it? What county?
In his court, in his case, right here in Danville. That's within that case.
Did they acknowledge it?
No, still not to this day that I know of.
Did you get a copy, stamped, filed?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've got file stamp copies of everything. Yeah. And again, Mom has copies of all that too.
And he just ignored it.
We just ignored
So
it.
basically, Judge Jeffrey Boles just makes his law as he goes along and avoids the statutory requirements.
I have seen that to be true frequently. Yeah.
Well, you're sitting here in jail, and if you file this, and I have no reason to doubt you.
I have seen him break the law.
I'm sure your mother can show me copies.
Yes, I've seen him break the law in my case several times.
Why has he got it in for you?
Because I have stood up for the abuse and neglect on my children. My ex's attorney is a favorite prodigy of his and pro temps in his court. How dare I, as a pro se person who knows something about the law, stand up and catch them at their crooked little games? Basically, this has been an ongoing affair of judicial attorney corruption and collusion to shelter child abuse.
So Judge Jeffrey Boles is sheltering child abuse of your 3 children. That's what you're saying?
In the case, there's been over 400 photographs of abuse and neglect.
Of your 3 children?
Yes, my 3 older children. Yes.
400? 400?
400 photos.
Of your children?
Hospital reports, doctor's reports, audio tape, videotape. And so far, they've refused to even set a hearing for change of custody. And his notes, his own personal notes in the case, confirm that he's aware of abuse and neglect of these children.
And yet he leaves them with the mother.
And yet he has left them with the mother. And that's just the abuse and neglect on children.
Is the mother abusing them?
I would say they're not in life-threatening danger of abuse.
Is your mother's boyfriend, the mother of your children's new boyfriend or passing boyfriends, are they doing some of this?
He has been investigated for child abuse here about a year ago against my son, which is the older of these three children.
Your children are, what's their names and ages?
Jacob is going to be 14 in August, so he's 13 right now. Kimmy, or Kimberly, but goes by Kimmy, she is 12, approaching 13 in October. Shannon will be 8 in November. And that's those three. I have another young one that's with a different girl, totally different situation.
Okay.
About 2. But anyway, so with these three, and you know, it's not just the abuse and neglect. This Judge Boles, he's also, frankly, has essentially assisted the ex-fiancée, girlfriend, whatever, and her attorney, Suzanne Conger. He has knowingly assisted in spite of all kinds of pleadings, all kinds of documentation. He has assisted them in just continuing complete fraud, a whole series of forgeries, perjuries, some real estate fraud, some bank fraud.
Who did the bank fraud? Who did the real estate fraud? Who did the perjuries?
Okay, that would be the ex, the mother of the children.
Who you're never legally married to.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And her attorney, and the original guardian ad litem, Paula Sauer, also this Danville area, and the original judge, Paula.
Oh, Paula.
Paula Sauer. It's S-A-U-E-R.
And she's an attorney.
She's an attorney also.
Representing who?
She was a guardian ad litem representing the children. The original guardian ad litem from day one, 98. And the original judge in this case, Karen M. Love, down here at the courthouse also, Superior 3, Karen Love. And it just so happens, after several months into that original case and being screwed so much, I thought, I know country songs. I know she got the gold mine, I got the shaft.
Right.
But I thought, surely it can't be this bad, really. Not knowing anything about the law in the beginning, I decided, well, I'm going to see if my attorney is really doing what he's supposed to be doing. And so I started looking into the law myself. And the more I learned, the more I found out that it was not the way it was supposed to be doing.
And who was your attorney at that time?
A guy named, now what was his first name? I don't remember, it's been so many years ago, but his last name was Shims. But I only had him for about 6 weeks because I realized he was doing nothing, really. And I fired him, and I got another attorney named Donna Bays. I said, okay, well, let's fight fire with a woman, female attorney against female attorney, Donna Bays. And I had her for the next 8 months while I was still staying along the side. And she basically, she did a few things, but in reality, it's ridiculous the way things turned out. So she wasn't really helping either. Anyway, by then I'd fired her too, and I said, look, I'm just going to do this myself. And so from then on, so from spring of '99, I've been representing myself in this case. And they just don't like that out here. They want you to, you know, pay into their little system and click and the dues and so forth out here to even hope to gain justice. And they're very biased out here.
So you had attorneys for almost 10 months.
Yeah.
Did you very little good. But
very little, yeah.
Did you get to see your kids during those 10 months?
Yeah, that was the only thing that was positive that Donna was able to work out was a visitation schedule that was pretty good. Although I should have had custody from day one.
Why should you have had custody?